section 7.6 is going to be a little bit of a different section for us. It's designed, or the book is intending for you to learn how to use the tables in the back of the book. And there are these lovely, tables of integrals in the back of your calculus textbook. They look really fancy and mathy. And honestly, at this point, that's about all that they're good for. We really, at this point, don't need tables of integrals, or at least we need them about as much as we need tables of square roots. Did you know they used to make tables of square roots? Back before they had calculators, they had things like this that just let you look up the square root of a number. And once calculators came along, of course, these tables were obsolete. And using the table doesn't really, or knowing how to use the table doesn't really teach you anything. It doesn't help you understand the math any better than using the calculator. And I feel exactly the same way about tables of integrals. There's a little skill to using a table of integrals, but it's not really a math skill. It's more of a reading the table skill. So I think tables are really outdated and not useful anymore, tables of integrals. And if Chuck Stevens feels differently, he can fight me. So what I want you to do instead is learn how to use technology solutions. Because that's really, if you're not going to work an integral by hand yourself, that's how you should be doing the integral, is with some sort of technology solution. So this is an example from the homework, and it's not, it doesn't look bad, but it turns out it's not easy to do by hand. So I'm going to suggest that you use Wolfram Alpha for your tech solution. If you have a different one you like better, I know some students like Symbolab, and there's probably others out there I've never heard of. I think Symbolab isn't quite as powerful as Wolfram Alpha for integration. So this is Wolfram Alpha. If you've never been here before, you really should know about it as a STEM student. And they build themselves as a computational search engine, but really they can do integrals, which is the important part for us. So it's wolframalpha.com. Same people that make Mathematica, if you're familiar with that program. And you can pretty much do what you can do with a search engine like Google. So if you say, I want to integrate this thing, you can actually just type integrate. Oops, if I spell it right, integrate. And you can sort of mix symbols and math and words, and like I'm going to just type square root, SQRT for square root, and then let's see, what am I got? 2y squared minus 3, and I'll close the parentheses for the square root and say divided by y squared. And as soon as I hit enter, I'm just going to check and make sure that it actually understood my integral properly, and it does have square root of 2y squared minus 3 all over y squared. Okay, it looks like it understood that properly. And it's got the answer right there. It does put a plus constant on the end. That's our plus c. And so here's what I'd like you to do for your homework. I would like you to write down the answer that Wolfram Alpha gives you. So let's see. I think that's going to go away as soon as I start trying to write. And one other thing to point out is almost every technology solution, when they say log, they mean natural log, that we usually write ln. So it's fine if you want to write this down log, but keep in mind this is log base e, not base 10. So let's do square root of 2 natural log of square root of 4y squared minus 6. My cat is going nuts. Plus 2y minus, good gravy. Okay, he's fine. Minus square root of 2y squared minus 3. All over y plus the constant. So when you write down your answers on the homework for this, I want you to write down what your tech answer is, and then I want you to check that against the back of the book. You don't have, obviously, number 10 in the back of the book, but I do, and this is what they have. And I'd like you to then make a second little column in your homework somewhere. It's okay, that's what tech gave me. And under the book, I don't want you to write out the book's answer. I just want you to write one of 3 words. I want you to write same, close, or seems to be different. As long as you didn't make a mistake in your typing, the tech answer and the book answer are going to be equivalent. And I just want you to say, did it come out exactly the same? Did it come out really close? I mean, just maybe a couple little steps to make them the same. Or are they pretty substantially different and it would take a lot of work to show that they're the same? Okay, so let's see what we got on ours. I can see this piece right here is exactly the same as this piece right here. Of course, the plus c and the plus c are the same. This piece, okay, I see the square root of 2. See the natural log. This part inside here looks a little bit different. I see there's 2 terms. One's a square root. One's got the y with a constant in front of it. Not quite the same though. This is like 2y squared minus 3, and this is 4y squared minus 6. There's an extra 2. Or actually an extra, since it's inside the square root, an extra square root of 2. And there's an extra square root of 2 in this as well. Square root of 2 times this square root of 2 would make it a 2. So it looks like they factored out a square root of 2 from the tech answer versus the book answer. And you know, with multiplication inside natural log, you can break that apart into separate natural logs. One of them will just be natural log of square root of 2, which can get absorbed into this plus c. They really are equivalent to each other. For this one, I think I would probably write down that. I'd say it's close. They're not equivalent. They're not exactly the same. I'd have to do a little bit of algebra to really prove that they're the same. But it's pretty close. It's not drastically different. So for all of your homework questions, I want to see the full written out tech answer. And then I want you to write down one of these 3 words to compare it to the back of the book answer. And then and I'll write this in the description of the assignment. So hopefully if you didn't catch it in the video, you'll get it there. But for one question only, I don't know what I'm writing there. Show is what I was going to say. I think the cats still have my brain rattled. Show that the book answer is equivalent to the tech answer for one that you marked as different. And maybe if you didn't get any that are different, do it for one that's close. But basically, whichever one's the most different, book versus tech, just for that one, show that they're equivalent, right? Do the algebra. So again, on your homework, for every problem, I want to see the tech answer and this 1 of 3 words. And then for one question only, the one that's kind of the most different, show that they're equivalent. Do the algebra to show that they're the same. All right, have fun with the homework.